I don't. He's a damn good boxer, but I don't think he can beat you. I just don't.
If the opportunity presents itself, I just want boxing to be at the top. You know, I want to make these fights happen, and I know I could beat these guys.
That's who you are. I have no doubt about it. But I asked a very direct question. This is first thing. He don't know me that well yet. Who do you want? Like, who's the guy?
Garcia.
Yeah, that's all I want to hear. That's all I want to hear, Dana. That's what I was asking about.
So, you know, I don't do things on my own. I do things with my team. We all share the same vision. That's important for me. That's a must. Is we all share the same goals, and you know, we've got a long-term plan here, and no doubt we'll execute it. Right. My job is to stay in the gym and give 100% in training, and the team allow me, with the same vision we have, to allow me to fully focus on being the best fighter I can be and deliver entertainment to the public.
Conor Benn is keeping his options open and taking on all comers, but he's zeroed in on Ryan Garcia as a matchup generating massive interest. He isn't insisting on just one opponent, but he views facing Garcia as the ultimate chance to prove himself on a global stage.
But Ryan Garcia and the potential for a fight against him is what everybody's been making noise about as well. Where is your head in regards to that? What fight do you want? What have you told Dana White?
Listen,
Which fight did you want?
We're going to try and make the WBC World title. You know, I'm mandatory for that shot. I've worked hard to get to that shot. But ultimately, I'm not sure of options. You know, there's plenty of fighters calling me out. So we'll see what's there. Whatever fight the public want, they can get. I'm here because I want to make the biggest fights possible. I want to make the most memorable nights in boxing. You know, the ones where people go, "God, what a fight. What a night." Something to remember, history made, legacy made. That's why I'm here. So whoever wants it can get it.
That's who you are. I have no doubt about it. But I asked a very direct question. This is first thing. He don't know me that well yet. Who do you want? Like, who's the guy?
Garcia.
Yeah, that's all I want to hear. That's all I want to hear, Dana. That's what I was asking about.
Ryan Garcia is all in on fighting Conor Benn, noting that Benn has been calling him out for over a year and even confronted him face-to-face at a London award show. With Benn now holding the #1 ranking and Garcia sitting as champion, Garcia sees zero reason to delay the matchup any longer.
So what makes you so eager for this fight to happen?
Well, I mean, he's been talking for some time. It hasn't even just been recently. You know, it's been maybe a year, 2 years. He actually pulled up on me in London and, you know, tried to fight me, start some trouble at a reward show. So ever since then, he's been on my radar. But since he's #1 and I'm world champion, I said, let's do it. You know, there's no more waiting. Let's just get it on.
For Conor Benn, giving fans their money's worth comes first. While acknowledging that stylistic matchups don't always yield masterpieces, he takes aim at the Floyd Mayweather-era obsession with 0 loss records for making fighters afraid to risk a defeat. To Benn, an action-packed loss holds far more value than a boring win, and his main priority is ensuring fans know he'll give everything in the ring every single time.
Yeah, listen, I want to give people value for money. I want to give people the fights that they want. You ain't always going to have an unbelievable night in the office. Sometimes the styles don't suit, they don't match up. But ultimately, I feel like it changed with Mayweather when he come along and it was the undefeated record and everyone was scared of losing. Ultimately, I'd rather lose an exciting fight than win a boring fight, because then it's like, did you even win?
Yeah.
You know, so for me, I just want to give people value for money. I want people to want to tune into a Conor Benn fight, win, lose or draw. You know, I fight with my heart on my sleeve and they're getting everything I've got. I pour my soul into my fights and I give them every shot I have.
Looking beyond a single fight, Ryan Garcia is focused on establishing himself as the face of boxing for a new generation. Recognizing that clout only goes so far, he embraces the pressure of being a title holder by committing to stay active and consistently deliver high-level performances.
Where your headspace is at from the standpoint, once upon a time, you were thinking about being the face of boxing. Do you still think about that right now, or is it just one of those situations where, having only 3 fights in the last 3 years, you're just simply taking one fight at a time?
Well, you know, as I'm a world champion now, and now that I feel like I have the belt, and, you know, I've always had the following, I've always had, you know, all the opportunities you can have as a superstar. You know, now that I have this piece that I kind of was missing, of course, I would love to keep fighting and kind of carry boxing. I actually lead this generation of young fighters of popularity and now of being a world champion. So I have all the opportunities to become the face of boxing, but now I just have to prove it with my dedication and all my fights that are going to be lined up. I have to do it now.
Henry Garcia completely writes off Conor Benn's chances, claiming that while Benn has bark and heart, he lacks the actual bite to compete at elite levels. Ryan Garcia's father and trainer slammed Benn for obsessing over petty distractions like Ryan speaking Spanish instead of dialing in on his boxing skills, weight, and fight prep. Henry considers Benn's misplaced focus a foolish mistake that will cost him the fight, warning that it will take far more skill and preparation to survive against Ryan.
Well, that guy is, he's got some bark in him, but that's not going to cut it. He's got to have a strong bite, and we don't think he has one, so he's all bark, and that's what he's got. He's got bark and heart. So if he's concerned about language, that's where his first mistake is. That's why he's going to lose. He's more concerned about Ryan's Spanish than his boxing skills. Like Ryan says, he's a dumbass. That's Ryan's words, okay? And that's one of the reasons why we're like, dude, what are you talking about? You're more worried about, the Mexican language? Come on, bro. That's so stupid. Worry about what you're gonna be, if you're gonna be prepared, if you're gonna make weight, if you're gonna have the skills. I think he should gear more towards that because he's going to need it.
Looking toward the future, Garcia discusses his willingness to move between 140 and 147 pounds depending on opportunity, expressing genuine interest in fighting Shakur Stevenson while still defending his title against Benn.
If the opportunity presents itself, I would love to fight Shakur Stevenson, or we could bring Gervonta back, from wherever he's at, resurrect him for, Like, let's go. I want that. Right. If the opportunity presents itself, I just want boxing to be at the top. I want to make these fights happen, and I know I could beat these guys.
Floyd Schofield backs Ryan Garcia to defeat Conor Benn, citing Garcia's superior ring versatility and varied skill set. However, Schofield warns against writing off Benn, noting that his relentless pressure and legitimate knockout power pose a constant threat to anyone who underestimates him.
September 12th, Ryan Garcia, Conor Benn. What you think about the fight?
I got Ryan Garcia, Team Golden Boy. I like Conor Benn, no disrespect to Conor Benn. I just think Ryan has more attributes to his game. I do think, though, if Conor Benn catches him with a nice shot, some nice flurries, it could be a change of that fight. Almost something similar to that Rolly fight. Just a little more, Conor Benn has a little more pressure. But I'm going with Ryan for that fight.
Yeah, you feel like he stops him?
It could. Like I said, boxing is boxing. Anybody can stop anybody. So do I favor a knockout over decision? No. But I do think Ryan possesses the power and the speed to catch him with a nice shot just as much as Conor does.
Sergio Mora's confidence in Ryan Garcia only grows stronger, noting Garcia made 147 pounds comfortably in his last fight without showing any signs of a tough weight cut. In stark contrast, Conor Benn is publicly complaining about the difficulty of making weight a full month out a clear red flag that could spell trouble on fight night.
And fight back-to-back fights with a natural super middleweight at middleweight in Chris Eubank Jr., then your body doesn't respond, fluctuating, going back and forth, especially to 147. Conor Benn is a 154 pounder now. I sized him up. He will fit in nicely. He'll be a small 154 pounder. He was a really muscular, strong 147 pounder, tiny 160 pounder. So I just think he's making excuses for it, and I don't think we're gonna see. We're not going to see nothing special with Conor Benn at 147. I think Garcia flattens him, and he's going to blame it on the weight.
I had favored Ryan Garcia coming into this fight from the moment it was announced. But when I read the comments from Conor Benn, that made me believe exponentially more that Ryan Garcia was going to win. Because if you're a month out and you're already talking about the challenge of getting to this weight, a weight that he's not fought at since 2022. In his last fight, getting down to 150, he didn't look like the same guy. Didn't look like the destroyer. Didn't look like the guy that put a beating on Chris Eubank Jr. at 160 pounds. When you're now a month out talking about the struggle it is to get down to 147, and you're going to be going up against a guy that's not going to have any problem making 147.
Floyd Schofield is sticking with Ryan Garcia to win, but he isn't sleeping on Conor Benn. He calls Benn a world-class operator whose speed and power could disrupt Garcia early, believing it's disrespectful to write him off when the fight ultimately hinges on who steps up on fight night.
Yeah. So, I mean, do you feel like it's competitive before anything? I mean, a lot of people saying Ryan as well as you. I don't really hear anybody saying Conor Benn. What about yourself? Have you been hearing anybody Conor Benn? Oh, I think Reed just said it.
Said what?
Conor Benn, but that was his last loss.
Well, I mean, we can't count Conor Benn out. Conor Benn is a champion. I mean, he's a world-class fighter. He has some skill, he has power, he has speed, and he has aggression. Something that we've seen with Ryan, that Ryan sometimes can't. It takes him a while to get adjusted to that. So we can't count Conor out. I mean, that'd be disrespectful to a fighter like Conor. We just have to see come fight night who's a better man. And like I said, I favor Ryan, but I mean, Conor does have a big chance at winning the fight too.
Chris Mannix isn't buying Conor Benn's claim that this will be his last fight at 147 pounds, viewing it as a preemptive excuse rather than simple scheduling. Highlighting Benn's 4-year absence from the division, Sergio Mora adds that after bulking up for fights at heavier weights, Benn's body simply isn't built to cut back down to 147 anymore.
Conor Benn did an interview this past week with Ring Magazine, and he said something interesting, Sergio. He said that this was going to be his last fight at 147 pounds. Now, Conor Benn has not fought at 147 in about 4 years. He's making his way down for this opportunity to fight for Ryan Garcia's world title. But he says he's going to be one and done at 147 pounds. Now, you're the fighter. You've made weight before. When you hear a fighter say that he is a month before his fight, the biggest fight of his career, in a weight class where there are some real names. 147's got Teofimo Lopez, it's got Devin Haney, it's got Rolly Romero, it's got some good names there. When you hear Conor Benn say this is his last fight at 147, what do you think?
That he's already preparing to make excuses to not look good in a weight division that he clearly outgrew. When you haven't fought in a division in 4 years, that tells you your body is not responding anymore. When you go up to weight divisions.
Chris Mannix directly links Conor Benn's current weight concerns to his past PED suspension. He suggests that Benn's struggles to make 147 pounds aren't new, but rather an ongoing issue that is simply becoming impossible to hide without relying on previous shortcuts.
That's not going to have any problem making 147. Like, Ryan Garcia is a big, tall guy, but he made 147 against Mario Barrios pretty easily, and I have no reason to believe that he can't do it again. You're going to be going into the ring with a younger, faster, stronger, more skilled, for being honest, guy in Ryan Garcia anyway, and he's going to be making the weight in a much better way than you are. That tells me this could be a really rough night for Conor Benn. I think Ryan, if Conor is weight trained coming into this fight, and look, Ryan's been kind of hinting at this for the last couple of weeks. Every time Conor posts a picture of him in great shape on Instagram, and he is in great shape, like he looks great, but Ryan can see things that fighters see, right? Like, you can see, like, hey, you're not close to your fighting weight. That muscle is great, but some of that's going to have to come off before September 12th. Like, Ryan's already making notes of this and commenting on Conor's page about how much weight he's going to have to lose. Like, if you're already at the point where you're not feeling good about making 147 less than a month before the fight, that is a huge red flag to me. And that tells me, that reinforces my belief that this fight ends with Ryan Garcia by knockout.
Sergio Mora reaches a clear verdict. Ryan Garcia is set to dominate Conor Benn. Expecting a stoppage win, Mora points to Garcia's superior skill, edge in size, and smooth weight cut as the decisive advantages that will make for a brutally tough night for Benn.
Yeah, so do I. And look, we know that Conor Benn failed the PED test, right? Now you understand why there's so many different types of performance-enhancing drugs. Some of them are for weight loss. Now you know why that is illegal.
Diuretics, things like that.
Yeah, now you know why that is illegal, because making weight is part of the fight. That's part of the struggle. That's part of your performance. Everything is off that. It's a calculated science, really losing that weight. But if you're going to cheat to lose weight, you and a lot of people that haven't fought may think, why he's just going to, he's cutting weight. That's part of the fight. So now you know why fighters are suspended when it comes to PEDs with weight. Conor Benn hasn't looked good in years. He hasn't knocked out anybody.
Well, I
since-
looked good against Eubank.
He didn't knock him out.
Well, no, but he beat
He
him
wasn't
up, knocked
he
him
wasn't
down.
knocking out guys like he was fighting like he knocked out Chris Algieri.
I don't. Right. I agree with that. I'm saying he did look pretty
So-
good in that second fight with
So
Eubank.
look, before we used to talk about maybe it's because he's lacking something that he was putting in the system. Now you can actually say that it was that, and it's actually fluctuating weight. You can't be jumping around from weight to weight, going north and then coming back south, expecting to hold down and retain that muscle mass and that power and that strength and that confidence. I think we're seeing a little bit of all that with Conor Benn and the writings on the wall. I think Ryan Garcia is really gonna do a number on him.
Henry Garcia continues to write off Conor Benn, arguing that family legacy and late starting passion can't replace high level, specialized boxing skills. Highlighting Ryan's track record against elite competition like Devin Haney and Luke Campbell, Henry insists it would take an army to defeat Ryan at his peak. He sees no unique threat in Benn's approach and scoffs at the notion that Benn can simply overpower Ryan in the ring.
I told you earlier, he's all bark, man. You know, he's gonna spark. He's gonna do whatever. He's gonna try to convince us that he's got it. Bro, he started when he was 17 years old. Okay, he did it because of his dad. You know, more power to his dad. I like that. But you gotta have more than that, bro. You gotta have some special skills. And then when Ryan, despite how many years you've been in boxing, when Ryan is 100%, you fucking need an army to beat him. And I'm serious, bro. I've seen this too many times. You're gonna have to have like something very special. And if Devin Haney was a way better boxer than Conor Benn, and Luke Campbell, who's a way better boxer than Conor Benn, bro, you gotta be crazy if you think you're gonna just overpower Ryan and beat him. I don't see it. I don't see anything special.
Addressing critics who favor Benn in this matchup, Henry offers a straightforward explanation, pointing out that fighters who've lost to someone tend to back that opponent afterwards, something he chalks up to simple human nature rather than any real reflection of Benn's actual skill level.
Of course he's gonna say that because he got beat. You know, I mean, bro, they said that about Ryan's last fight. Mario's gonna beat Ryan because blah, blah, blah. I mean, but anybody that beats Ryan, anybody that beats them, remember this. Anybody that beats an opponent that they ask who's going to win, they're going to favor the guy that beat them. That's common sense. They're not going to say, Ryan's going to win. Hell no. He got beat and they got their ass kicked. So, of course, they're going to favor the guy. It's so easy to figure that shit out. It's stupid. But it's okay. You're not gonna have you're not gonna have all these supporters always. You're not gonna have that. There's no way.
Tell me, Henry.
But it is what it is, bro. It is what it is.
Offering a critical perspective on the contest, Gareth A. Davies framed this fixture as a pivotal and high-risk endeavor for Conor Benn. Davies highlights Garcia's lethal combination of hand speed and sharp accuracy as key attributes capable of breaking down Benn's defenses by the middle rounds, pointing toward a potential stoppage in rounds 6 or 7. Nevertheless, he concedes that Benn possesses the mental fortitude and heart required to defy expectations.
Loads of prospects for him and they might capitalize on it. But for me, the danger for Conor Benn in this is when that bell rings, he's going to be in a world of trouble. By 5 or 6 rounds, I think he'll find out who he's really in against. I see him being knocked out in 6 or 7 rounds. Surprise me, Conor, and win the fight. But for me, this is the most dangerous fight of his career. Forget the Chris Eubank at middleweight fight. This is the most dangerous fight, and I believe he gets knocked out midway through that fight.
Backing Ryan Garcia to secure a knockout victory, Spence Oliver questions whether Conor Benn can survive the weight cut to 147 pounds. Having previously noticed faded energy and power from Benn at a higher weight, Oliver doubts he'll have the stamina needed to absorb Garcia's quick hands and sharp combinations.
I'm with you. I think that Ryan Garcia wins the fight and he possibly wins it by knockout, but I'm not writing off a Conor Benn performance. But one thing that really concerns me about Conor Benn going into this fight is not his characteristics and his will to win and his punch power, but making 147.
Yeah, it's going to be a
fight.
struggle, yeah.
A fighter that's dead at the
Said it
weight.
4 years.
We saw it in his last fight against
Regis
Prograis down at 150.
Yeah.
He looked dead at the weight.
Yeah,
The punch power wasn't there.
Over the welterweight.
Yeah,
range.
3 pounds.
On the other side, Conor Benn isn't letting anyone discount his title shot. He insists this WBC world title opportunity isn't about clout or who he's fighting, it's about what he's done in the ring. Benn points to his major wins over Chris Eubank Jr. and Regis Prograis as proof that he earned his mandatory spot. In his mind, the sanctioning body just confirmed what he already knew. Whoever had that belt was going to have to face him eventually.
The WBC World Title, you know, they ordered it, made me mandatory. Coming off the 2 great Eubank wins, beating Regis convincingly, it was on the cards, and he was the person with the belt. Whether it was him or anybody else, the fight was going to get made for the WBC World Title.
Ryan Garcia? He isn't trying to hear any of Benn's excuses. Annoyed by Benn's recent trash talk, Ryan fired back with a heavy warning of his own. He made it crystal clear, talk is cheap once that bell rings. Garcia is promising to make Benn pay in the ring, swearing he's going to land the kind of fight-altering shot that changes everything in an instant.
What the That don't faze me. I don't know what the hell that means, nor do I care. You don't scare me. Conor Benn is not scary at all. He's not intimidating. He don't feel like anything like a threat. He's gonna come over here to the US and get his ass spanked by either me, Shakur will shut him down, but I'll knock him out. It's much different. I will put him to sleep. He's very tenacious and tries to come at you, but I will catch him bad. So, bro, stop with that puss puss ming 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 bling bling shing bling. Don't care about none of that. Simply want that fight. Let's go after this.
Conor Benn looks to silence his critics, while Ryan Garcia remains focused on defending his belt and securing his legacy. All talk ends on September 12 when the opening bell sounds. If you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for complete coverage of both fighters.